We'll be good to go. All right. You guys ready?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yay!
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Hey, everybody. Welcome to today's QB Appy Hour. Hey, we'll give everybody a second to get logged on. Really excited to have everybody join us today. We have really great content. We're going to be talking about the Apps tab in QuickBooks Online Accountant. We're going to be talking about one of my favorite apps, which is QVinci. We've got Brad and Charles on the line with us for that. We've got Kevin Hua with Intuit. He's a product manager with Intuit that's going to be talking to us about the Apps tab and the new Accountants program. So really, really excited about that. Really, really looking forward to that. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to go ahead and dive right in. So let's go ahead and do it.
Awesome. I love it.
Awesome. So welcome, everybody. Welcome to the official first QB Appy Hour with Liz and Heather. We're super excited to be here, super excited to talk apps for a whole hour every month with all of you. We've got a lot of stuff going on today, a lot of things to share with you. We're going to be talking about the new redesigned Apps tab in QuickBooks Online Accountant and how it's made it so much easier for us to manage both the apps for our practice and all the apps that our clients are using. We're going to talk about the new apps discount program that was launched back in the end of May that allows us to buy apps wholesale or at a discount for our clients. We're going to talk about it too. And then super excited to have QVinci with us. So our sponsor today is QVinci. They are here to talk about their wonderful reporting app, and we're going to make a toast to them. So let's dive in. For those of you, I'm already talking, so I'll go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Heather Satterlee. I am owner and founder of Satterlee Training Consulting, and I am a trainer for Intuit, QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks Advanced Certified Pro Advisor, and I absolutely love Intuit products, and love the app ecosystem. Liz, take it away.
Hey, so hi everybody. It's great to be doing our first live webinar. And QuickBooks is what our firm does every day. So lots of integrations, and every day we're hooking up new apps to our existing clients, and then lots of cleanup, setup and startup companies. Super fun stuff.
Awesome. And we were super excited because Liz, you and I, we kicked off the Appy Hour at Scaling New Heights last month, and that was a lot of fun. We had some folks from Intuit and T-Sheets. We had FlowLink come and hang out with us for a while. And we had Bento for Business come and hang out with us. And they bought everybody drinks, right?
It was
Later
fun.
That night, we went out to the bar and we had some drinks. So that was a lot of fun. So really, really, what's that?
I said the Bento's bee's knees.
The Bento's bee's knees. That's right. So super excited to be here with you guys today. So on the line, you guys can see their picture in the webinar, but let's go ahead and introduce our guests, Liz. We have Kevin Hua from Intuit. He's a product manager with the Apps team. So welcome, Kevin. He's going to be talking to us about the new Apps tab experience and the discount, the new accountant discount program. And then we have Brad Adams and Charles Nagel from QVinci. So super excited to have you as our sponsor for the show. We're really excited to have you guys on. I love QVinci. I've had a couple clients that have used it in the past. Particularly, I had one client, they had 27 LLCs that we used QVinci to consolidate all of those companies into consolidated reporting. It was amazing. And what I loved about QVinci was we got it set up so quickly. Like, you would think with 27 different companies that it would take a really long time, and it really didn't take that long. It was so easy to use. Once we got all of the chart of accounts standardized, mapping and getting it functional for the clients was really easy. So loved that.
And that's part of the battle, is just, understanding the apps and getting them connected. Once that happens, then, everything else is golden. So I'm glad to hear it was easy for Heather, especially with 20 entities. Good golly.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. So definitely. All right, so thanks again to our sponsor, QVinci. We're going to be taking a look at QVinci a little bit later. So we're going to, about at the bottom of the hour, we'll do a toast. We have a drink recipe for everybody. It's really super duper yummy. So I was really excited to make that toast. A couple of just housekeeping items. Our agenda today, we're going to be going over the changes to the apps tab. We're going to talk about the new apps discount program. We'll make our toast. And then Liz and I are going to share you the coolest thing that we did this month with an app. And so I'm excited to show you this because it was a huge time saver for me. And Liz tried it too. She ended up using it with 2 different clients after we talked about it. So I was really excited. And then we'll talk about our next month's episode as well. So do you want to talk about our Facebook page and everything, Liz?
Absolutely. So if you haven't checked it out yet, we have a Facebook page, and it's the QB Appy Hour. And we've got our live feed that's happening right now. So are you pulling that up? Is that what you're getting to?
I wasn't pulling up the Facebook page, but I was going to pull up our website, which we're going to go to.
My favorite thing about the website is being able to go over for additional resources to the bar book. So do you want to click on the bar book?
Yeah.
Awesome. So here on the bar book, you can see who we've had on our show. And then if you want to have additional resources, you can flip over those tiles, and learn more is going to have a, go ahead and click one. Yeah. And so you've got the recipe here, so that way you can enjoy the drink with us, and then additional information about QVinci and resources to their website and how to get a hold of them.
Absolutely. We also have a blog, so we're building out our blog. We have a few articles out there now. We'll be adding to them as we go. You can read a little bit about the QB Appy Hour. This is also where you're going to go to register for the monthly webinar. So if you want to go to QB Appy Hour, and it's qbappyhour.com, just scroll on down, and the registration is right over here. So you can click on any one of these. Once you register for one, you're actually registered for the next 12 months. So you only have to do it once, and we'll send you reminders to let you know what's going on with our shows. So I think next month we're doing apps for e-commerce, and then we're going to have a guest host. It's super secret right now, but we have a guest host or a few guest hosts coming in for our September show. So let me head on back to our other information. So we've got our Facebook page. And you can find it there. Register for a monthly webinar. It's via Zoom, and just thanks.
You gotta love Zoom. Zoom's just really easy.
I love Zoom. You just implemented Zoom, didn't you?
So I've been using Zoom, but most of the time have been using ConnectWise, and I liked it because I could park my clients in there and link back into their client files a little easier, but I like being able to see and connect with people with having the video.
Yeah, Eileen Sass just says she loves Zoom too. I was using GoToWebinar for a long time, and I just found that it got glitchy for me. So whenever I would be on a meeting, and I used GoToMeeting, and when I'd be on the meeting, sometimes it would just conflict with other programs that I was running or something. And I find that I very rarely have that kind of issue with Zoom. So I'm a huge fan. Plus, it integrates with Zapier. We all know how much I love Zapier. So.
Yeah, there we go.
Exactly.
You have her at Zapier.
You had me at Zapier. That's right. That's right. So anyway, so let's go in and jump right into our apps tab demonstration. So has anybody checked out the new apps tab in QuickBooks Online Accountant? I love this view. I think it's amazing. But what really the gist of it is that they've given us now an overview of all our clients that are using apps that are using the same app. So we're able to now, instead of like, go ahead.
Like, it's almost so subtle that I think you need to point out like what changed, because when I first glanced at it, I didn't think anything had changed until I really looked at my client list, and you're able to see not just one client at a time, but multiple clients with apps.
Right. Yeah, no, let's jump in. I mean, I think you're right. Let's jump in and take a peek at it. I actually have my test QBOA open here. So I'm in my test company, and I've clicked on the apps tab over here. And so, the first thing to note is when you go into find tabs, and I just want to take a moment just to talk about this, because some people may not have all three of these tabs across the top. So when I click on the apps tab, I've got find apps, I've got client apps, and I've got firm apps. And not everybody is going to see this middle one, right, Liz?
Great
They're
point.
not going to see the client apps. And why not? Why wouldn't they see those?
If you are not logged in as the admin, you're not going to be able to see the client apps. And that's set there for boundaries, so that way the firm realm, the admin of the firm realm is going to be able to see firm apps and client apps, but you don't necessarily want all of your team members to be able to add client apps.
Right. And Kevin, I have a question for you. So, I could see that there would definitely be a use case where I would want certain members of my team to be able to manage apps for my clients. Is there any thing on the roadmap to allow that functionality coming soon?
Definitely. We've heard from a lot of accountants that the roles and permissions of being able to assign someone access to apps at your firm would be super helpful. So that's something that the team is definitely looking into.
So I'm just going to say that again. So you're saying that as the firm realm, we can decide, as the administrator, we can decide which team members would be allowed to add client apps and to view those client apps. Is that right?
Yeah, that's definitely something that's on our roadmap a bit further out, but that's the ideal state that we would love to go to give you the power to decide who, as a master admin, who as part of your firm should be able to, access the client's apps and make connections on their behalf.
Perfect.
Kevin, can you talk a little bit about, we've talked about, there's a difference in the way that we connect apps. And I know in the new Intro to Apps webinar that Intuit is now putting out monthly, we talk about single sign-on apps and we talk about not single sign-on apps. And can you just kind of explain that to us, what the difference is and what the experience is like when we're signing up for single sign-on versus signing up for not single sign-on?
Sure. Pretty much most of the apps that you can explore and see in the QBOA apps tab all have the single sign-on. Essentially what single sign-on means is instead of having to create a separate login, what you end up doing is you just use your Intuit login and single sign-on into the third-party app that you want to connect itself. Now, there are a few apps out there that currently don't support the single sign-on ability. And if you do explore through the apps tab, you may encounter a few that say on their app details page, when you try to connect on behalf of a client, that connecting on behalf of a client from within QBOA doesn't work at this moment. Now, we've been working with all of our third-party partners to enable that experience and make it a lot more seamless. But there's still a few developers out there that do need to make a few changes to their integration first before the entire experience is enabled. And so for those apps that you can't add on behalf of your client from within QBOA, what we would suggest is you can go directly to the third-party apps website itself, sign in, and you can go ahead and connect for any of your clients from that itself. But if you see the program below in Heather's screen, all of the apps in this Accountant Apps program all allow you to purchase on behalf of your clients, as well as single sign-on directly into the app experience itself.
That's amazing. So when you guys are talking about when you can do the single sign-on, there's how many apps can you sign up single sign-on for your clients at this time that aren't necessarily part of the discount program?
Yeah, I don't have the number offhand, but that's definitely something that, I don't think I have that number offhand.
Okay. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I like that question.
So we have in the Find Apps tab, and we'll talk about this in just a little bit, because we're going to do a deep dive into the accountant discount program, and we're going to talk about how to sign up for the apps that that are part of that and the benefits to accountants. But what I really wanted to dig into now was the client app tab up here. And as we learned, as Kevin said, not everybody's going to have this. So only if you are the master admin are you going to see this right now. And that doesn't necessarily mean, Kevin, that you as a team member, you can't connect apps to client companies, right? You could do that out at, for the not single sign-on apps. You can go out and connect it as an account user, right? Even if you're not the master admin. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And one thing that I'll call out specifically is for all of the apps in the apps tab from within QBOA, the single sign-on capability is just restricted sometimes to the clients. You can go ahead and add actually all of the apps in our apps tab on behalf of the firm. So they will single sign on if you add it to the firm. It's just for some of the apps, the client adding on behalf of multiple clients is just not possible at this time.
Got it. No, that makes perfect sense. So in the Client Apps tab, the way that it used to look is we had the Client Apps tab, and then we had a drop-down list here that allowed us to select each client. So I was able to select a client, and then I would be able to see all of the apps that were connected to that client, and I could see if I connected the app, and I could see if somebody else maybe had connected the app, and if it was an app that I connected, I would actually be able to do things with it. So that functionality hasn't changed in the sense that I can still see if an app was connected by me, because it'll say connected by you underneath. But what I love about this new view is I actually see all of my clients listed here. So I can see every single one of my clients. I can see all the apps they're using in one screen. And then I can even use the filter, right, to go through and either look for, look at just one client, or I can look to see, which of my clients are using a specific app. So for example, I use CData all the time, to clean up data for clients. And so most of my clients are actually connected to that particular app. So if I just type in CData up here, or actually, I'm sorry, if I do Excel data, or no, that's Excel add-in for QuickBooks Online, I had to search for the Excel there. It actually filters to show me which of my clients I have subscribed to that particular app. Right. And I love that. And if it's an app, I mean, clearly these weren't connected by me here. They were connected by me somewhere else. So it tells me that I haven't connected this app, because if I did, it would say connected by you. So to clear that, I can just go back and clear it, and it'll show me all my apps. If I wanted to just look at the app for a particular client, so maybe I just wanted to look at the Appy Hour Law Firm, I can just start typing in their name, and it would show me all of the apps that were connected by me and by them. So for Appy Hour Lounge, these two were connected by somebody else. That one was connected by me. And then the ones that were connected by me, if I click on the little 3 dots right here, I can manage the app. So I could launch the app and go take a look at it. I could, look at support information, so I can go ahead and launch it.
This is one of my favorite things, Heather. I love being able to launch the app from our dashboards.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then we have the disconnect and rate, right? And the rate, that used to say review, right, Kevin?
Yes, yeah. It's rating the app itself. Correct.
I love that. Yeah, I like that change too. So that's really helpful. So we're able to see that. And I know with some of my clients, they have a lot of apps. So I find that I'm filtering by client a lot. But I really love this view because, like I said, I can see all the clients that are using one specific app. So it just makes it easier to manage. And as we start to onboard our clients into the discount program, which we're going to talk about in a minute, that's going to be really important, right? Because I'm going to want to be able to see, which apps I have subscribed to, QVinci or Excel add-in for QuickBooks Online, that kind of thing. So the other thing I can do is I can filter for all apps. I can filter to just view the discounted apps that I've purchased. So I've bought QVinci for the Appy Hour Law Firm. I can view apps I connected and apps others connected. So if I wanted to see all the ones that I had done versus what other people have done, I can slice and dice it so many different ways, which I think is really a great improvement to the screen. I'm a big fan.
Absolutely. And I'm so excited about what you're getting ready to talk about next, which is the Pro Advisor program and how we are paying for apps.
Yes.
Next.
Yes.
Yay.
So I have
a question about
slides for that. So let's get to,
awesome.
We included, oh, and there's Kevin. Everybody say hi to Kevin. So Kevin's a senior project manager. And And yeah, and thank you so much for being on this call. I really
Thank you for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
This is great. Yeah, I like that. I like that picture too. Your background's kind of groovy.
So Kevin, do you want to talk a little bit about the benefits of the apps discount program?
Sure. Yeah. So at a high level, the Accountant Apps program, what we've done is we've partnered with the top apps that we've heard say are used by all of you and other accountants out there. And we've gone ahead and provided some significant benefits if you do purchase from this program from within QBOA. I think the top few are, one, it's a lot easier to provision on behalf of your clients. You can go ahead and purchase on behalf of your clients, connect the app, and start using it and single sign on into the app right from QBOA itself. So you don't need to go outside to the app itself to do all of that. Everything is within QBOA and consolidated there. I think the second aspect is also beneficial, in which you may be using a ton of apps, but you may be getting separate bills for each of them. If you purchase from this Accountant Apps program, what will happen is any of the apps that you purchase from us will end up being sent to you on the 2nd of each month, at the beginning of the month, all consolidated into one bill. So for instance, if you have multiple clients and you purchase the same app for each of them, it'll all get sent to you in this one bill at the beginning of each month. So you no longer need to say, continue to search for separate bills for each of your clients or per app. It all comes down into this one bill. And then lastly, of course, it's really the preferred pricing that we offer for all of these top quality apps. We offer at a starting basis of a discount of 20% and up. For T-Sheets, we offer 25%. But all of the apps are not just high quality, but we try to give you a better discount and to drive your value pricing strategy. So it's definitely something that we're hoping to add to.
Okay, so I've got two questions. So one of our viewers asked, what happens if you've already connected the app outside of the ProAdvisor program? And so you're already getting the discount. Do you need to move it inside of your inside the dashboard in order to be able to see that billing consolidated?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we're working with all of our developers to see if we can actually make it a much more seamless process if you do have an existing subscription. Now, for the moment, there's only a couple that do enable you to have that seamless transition. Expensify and Circulus are those two apps as part of the program that allow you, if you do have an existing subscription, to overwrite the billing and purchase from our program. For all the other apps, you may just have to work and contact the third-party app developers and then work with them to see if you can go ahead and transfer the billing.
Over.
Right.
Got it. Okay, and then my other question was, they wanted to know when you're, I think I heard you answer it, but I just want to make sure I clarify. So when you're looking at your bill, you're going to have two different areas. You're going to have one that's going to be your QuickBooks Online subscriptions with your wholesaled clients. You're going to have your wholesaled apps is going to be grouped together in a bundle. And then really you'd have a third one. You'd also have your payroll grouped together in a bundle, correct? So three different.
Right. The bill for the apps is separate from the QBO bill itself. So all of the apps that you purchase for any of your clients will be consolidated into one if you purchase from us.
Got it. Okay. That's great. That'll make it a whole lot easier.
Hopefully, definitely.
Absolutely. So I've already done this. I included, so everybody, just to let you know, for our viewers, in the chat window, I actually put a link in there that actually has our PowerPoint slides, and I included some screenshots for you so that you guys could review, you know, what we had talked about. So you guys have that for your, you know, you can take that you can go ahead and download the PDF of the deck and use it. There's some links to some resources there. There's information about QVinci, so definitely go ahead and download that. We'll also be uploading that to our website along with our video for today's session, so you'll be able to access it later too. So the new apps program, there are currently, well, let's talk about the availability first, Kevin. Let's talk about, I mean, is this available to everybody?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it's available to all master admins of the firm. They can go ahead and purchase and connect the apps on behalf of their clients. And it's available in the US, UK, Canada, and Australia. We're continuing to add apps to the program, and we hope to bring even more top quality apps at a discount for all of you.
Awesome. And there's currently 9 apps that are available there, right here in front of you. So we got Expensify, Method, SOS, we've got Excel Transactions Importer, ServiceMate, T-Sheets, Float, and Circulus. That's a good list to get started for us, right? And we've got QVinci, like the newest addition to this, right? They just
Yep.
became part of the program like a week ago, right?
Right.
So
right.
that's super exciting. So super exciting. Absolutely. So, and I actually went through and I connected QVinci to our Appy Hour law firm just to kind of give you guys an idea of what that process looks like. So I do have some screenshots. I'm not going to show you. Oops, what happened to my slides? Uh-oh. Well, we'll keep talking. It looks like PowerPoint decided that it should restart itself. So we're going to give it a minute. But really that process is very, let's go ahead and get to that again.
Okay.
Where am I? We're almost there. There we go.
Flashback.
What's that?
So I think I saw it flash off and then flash back. So
there we go. Yeah. Well, you know what it did is PowerPoint was like, I'm done for today. I'm done. I need a little break.
It wasn't.
So I'm just gonna. It took a little break. It was just like, I just need a little breather there, Heather. So but then it restarted itself. So it's all good. We forgive it. So I want to show you how easy it is to add this to add it to your wholesale discount. So you just click on the app. So when you're in your apps tab, like the main apps tab, where you search for your apps, you just click on the name. And then you're going to click that Get App Now. We all have done this before, right? So you're going to click that Get App Now. And then it's going to ask you if you want to install it for your firm or if you want to install it for a client. And if you install it for your client, you have 2 options. You have the option to buy now with the discount, and that's where you're going to add it to, that's where we're going to add it to our account and discount account, right? And then we're going to get all of our apps billed on one bill, which is nice. You can also choose to try it without a discount. And then what's going to happen there is you're going to subscribe to it, and then the client's going to have to put in their billing information and pay for it separately. So in this case, we selected that we're going to install for our client, and we wanted to add it to our discount pricing. So the next screen that comes up is where we're creating the order. So we just are going to kind of look at the information. We can read the terms and conditions. Kevin, it's going to prorate it, right? It's going to prorate it.
Yep.
So I'm not going to pay for a whole month, and that keeps the billing nice and consistent, right?
Yep.
So I love that. So it has the details here. You can review that. Once you're done, you're going to click the next button, and then you'll confirm the order. You'll put in your payment information, so you'll have to put in your credit or debit card information in order to process the sale. And then once you click next and you place the order, then you're just going to go ahead and click done. And at this point, you can print the receipt, but you're going to have, the information here for the order and the invoice ID as well for your records.
Right.
Then you just click done, and then what will happen is it'll return you back to the client apps tab. So after you've bought the subscription, you have to activate it. So you've got to go back to your client apps tab, and then you're just going to click either activate over here or right down underneath the client name. And then once you click activate, it's going to do the OAuth authorization. So it'll ask you to allow QVinci or whatever the app is to connect to your QuickBooks Online account. And then once you grant them permission, then it will be connected. In order to set it up, you've got to click on it again. So you've got to launch it. Remember, you click on those 3 dots, and then you're going to go ahead and launch the app, and then you're going to go ahead and complete the setup for that particular app. So it's a super easy process to onboard your clients onto these new discounted apps, and it keeps all your billing consistent. So I think it's a huge improvement to the overall, QuickBooks Online Accountant program. So very awesome. Anything to add, Kevin, that we should know about
Yeah, definitely. I think you did a great job covering it, Heather. I think one other thing that I would just mention is the bill that gets sent at the beginning of each month. We would send you an email if you do end up purchasing from the program, just letting you know that, hey, this is the confirmation that you're being billed. But if you were to want to go back and see, say, a history of all of the different bills that you've received, you can go ahead and either access it under the QBOA settings gear, where you can see under the settings gear, there's this Your Account area where you can generally see all of your wholesale QBO sort of bills and history there. We have an area underneath that in which it actually shows all of the app settings as well. And in that area, you'll see this Manage Discounted Apps dropdown. So that's one area you can go to. It's under the Your Account. Yeah.
I think I can show it because I've got one connected. So I think that'll be really useful for people.
Yeah,
so it's right down here.
Perfect. Yeah, that's the area where you can see and manage all your app subscriptions. That drop down where you see the Manage Discounted Apps, if you click on that, you'll see that the first link it says View Monthly Invoice. But because Heather must have just purchased it recently, the invoices will not appear until the month starting after your purchase. And so this is where you can go to see a history of all the bills that we do send you. You'll also see the same drop-down, the Manage Discounted Apps drop-down, if you're in the Client Apps experience already. And so right above the table, you'll see to the right-hand side, we also have that available there. So to make it more convenient for you if you're already looking at apps for your clients.
Wait, so you're saying that we can also see our clients, what they're paying for subscriptions there as well?
Oh no! This is just to see. This is just to see the bills and the history of the apps that you're buying on behalf for them.
Okay, great. Okay, that makes total sense. I was like, wait, I hadn't heard that. So.
Right now, is there any plans? And maybe Liz, you may have asked this and I may have missed it. But are there any plans to like have bundled pricing as far as QBO payroll and apps like all together, or is this kind of where we are with this now? Kevin.
Sorry, I didn't catch that question. Do you mind repeating, Heather? Sorry.
Liz, did you ask that question? Because I had that as one of our questions. Is there plans to bundle it all together? Like if you have QBO and you already asked that?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, and the answer is yes, it's going to be bundled. So essentially we'll have 3 bundles. One's going to be payroll, one's going to be your wholesale QuickBooks, and then one's going to be your apps.
Yeah, so right. just to add a little bit more color to that, the bills will be separate. So payroll will be a separate bill, QBO will be a separate bill, the apps will be a separate bill. In terms of bundles, if we're thinking about potentially offering bundles in the future, that's an area that's on our roadmap as well that we'd love to explore.
Oh, nice. Great. Awesome. And we had another question from Jenny. She's saying, so the connection process is separate from any actual integration, right? So you buy it and you can connect it, but nothing's going to happen with the QBO company until you launch it and do the setup. And that's right. That's right. So we can buy the subscriptions, but I haven't, at this point, I've only bought the QVinci subscription. I have to launch it and then go through the setup process, which we're actually going to learn about. We're going to learn about QVinci and what it can do in just a moment. That would be the next step, is actually setting up the app. So awesome. This is just connecting them together, right?
Connecting them and then setting them up. Let's do it, Heather. Are we there yet?
I think we are. I think it's time. I think it's time. So let's say, I think it's so exciting that QVinci is the newest member of this apps program, because it's awesome. And we have a drink that we've created for QVinci, and we're going to raise a toast. So thank you to Charles Nagel, who's the founder and Chief Innovation Officer of QVinci, and we also have Brad Adams joining us for QVinci as well. So here's our drink, and I actually have one.
Oh,
so here's our drink.
Hold on, Heather. Look at mine. Do you see?
Oh, I love you. That's awesome.
It's as big as my head.
It is as big as your head. Mine is not. Mine is icy cold. You guys can see it's icy cold.
And it smells really good.
It does. It does. So it's got, you can only make one cocktail with the recipe, but it's got absinthe in it, which is one of my favorites. And then it's got a little bit of vodka. and a little bit of white wine, and then a little more lemon and simple syrup. The bitters, which I guess that makes it bitter. I'm not a bartender, I'm an accountant. But and then you put some mint and lemon, and then my daughter, who's she's an aspiring chef, she actually shaved off some lemon rind and said you should put this in your drink. So mine actually has little sprigs of mint and lemon rind.
Mine does too, Heather. So, look, here's my mint.
Yay!
I think that's part of the reason why it smells so incredible. It's like refreshing smelling.
It really does. So, Melody's saying this is a downside of being on the West Coast. They just had lunch. Can't have a drink at lunch. I'm like, well, it'll be on a Friday. Well, we'll have it. You can live vicariously through us.
That's
so,
right.
And Eileen she's drinking some kombucha. So, I love kombucha too. QVinci, thank you so much for coming on the show and being our sponsor and for sharing information about your amazing product. And I'm going to go ahead and try this.
Oh yeah, no, it's good. It's great. It's very
delicious. It is really refreshing. It's actually a really nice summer drink. So it's got that mint, and it's got so the absinthe has a little bit of a licorice flavor. So it's got a little licorice going on, and then the lemon and the mint. It's really yummy.
It's really well balanced, Heather.
It is really well balanced. It's delicious, and the name of it, of course, is the QVinci Mona Lisa, right? Because you think of QVinci. And Charles, can you share with us when I told you that we wanted to call it the Mona Lisa? What did you tell us about that? Can you share that?
Yeah, when we started working on a solution 11 years ago. And the company's name, QVinci, we kept the code name for the product was Mona. So, and it's still, if you go into the code right now and you look at the code base where all the code is, everything's Mona this and Mona that and whatnot. So I thought it was interesting alignment of data points.
It was meant to be. It was meant to be. So I think that's awesome. So you guys can find this recipe. It's in the PowerPoint slides. You can also find it on our website in our bar book. So go check out our bar book. It's there. And then you can also find it on our Facebook page. So Kevin says he has to jump off. So I just want to say a humongous thank you to Kevin for joining us today. It was really informative, and we really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule.
And answering our questions live. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you so much, everyone.
All right, take care. So Charles and Brad, do you want to jump in and tell us a little bit about QVinci?
Sure. So QVinci, we were founded on July 1st, 2007, and we've been in the business quite a long time. We have 6 patents on multiple countries, and so one of the things that we do is we take reporting to a different level. And it's not just about small business. By the way, I'm an entrepreneur. I've started multiple business. I've been a turnaround consultant, and this thing came out of that practice. And so we've got a lot of value props that are really for small businesses and accountants. And we also have clients that are extremely large. Our largest customer, believe it or not, for one of our products has 1,600 QuickBooks files.
Wow.
And we will consolidate those files in about 6 seconds and do benchmarking, that sort of thing. So we run the gamut. We build advanced reporting solutions that can be used by small businesses or a larger business and that sort of thing. And we do things that you can't really get out of QuickBooks. Getting a P&L, a balance sheet out of QuickBooks is good, but it's hard to run a business if that's just all you're looking at. And so we really have gotten into the automation, standardization, templating, and business intelligence side of the equation.
So I like hearing what it is that you're doing. So who is your ideal fit?
Well, I hire the customer's accountant who wants to be more than the bookkeeper and more than the accountant and more than who wants to be top of mind for his client. So someone who really wants to deliver a greater value to the customer. They want to be the trusted advisor and maybe the person that client is leaning on. And so, we give solutions to the accountant that help facilitate that, including things like, you can do value billing with our solution. Because when you start delivering business intelligence to a customer, all of a sudden you're giving them decision-making tools. So you become more valuable. And what happens, what we're finding with these accountants, we have a lot of accounting clients, all the way from the fourth largest accounting firm in the United States, all the way down to solo practitioners. And what we're finding is this jumpstarts the conversation with the client to use the accountant as a resource, as a business resource, and not necessarily just a tax resource or a bookkeeping or keeping the QuickBooks file clean resource. Now it becomes, truly that business advisor.
So I'm going to go ahead and say, in line with accountants, what do you feel that they like best? Is it the dashboarding? Is it the AI that's part of your business intelligence? What is it that you're finding that you're having the best response from your accountant partners?
Well, we have a lot of legs on the stool because we don't believe in solving one problem. We solve a plurality of problems. And so the benefits for an accountant is this. And this is proven true because we've done a lot of audits and a lot of people talk to us. And of course, the more complex your client is, the longer this takes. But we have a lot of accountants that will tell us, I spend 30 minutes, 60 minutes a month putting this client financial package together. And we'll ask them, well, what are you doing? Well, I go into QuickBooks, I dump the P&L balance sheet, statement of cash flow, I put a little bit of styling on it, a cover page there, so forth, and it takes me X amount of minutes to do. And well, you're doing business intelligence. Well, no, I'm not. I'm just delivering these reports to these guys. And how long you taken? And so what will happen is, using QVinci, you build these templates in QVinci, and instead of going into QuickBooks and exporting anything every month, you simply say, for this client, give me this package. And that package will contain a plurality of reports. It'll also contain a plurality of business intelligence in there. And so literally, we take the reporting process for most clients of an accountant down to a matter of 3 or 4 clicks in about 30 seconds. So the time savings is astronomical. Most accounting firms, that when we ask them this question, will say, using our tool, and there's a lot of internal capabilities, the ability to see data internally without having to go and open the QuickBooks file as an example and logging in. A lot of accountants will tell us just this time savings for me alone makes QVinci worth it, even if I don't do much reporting for my customers. So the value props are, accountants like the time they save with QVinci. They also like the ability to automate the reporting process and build business intelligence. So there's both ends of the stick on this thing, where client happiness and satisfaction is a really big deal, because when they're happy with what you're doing and you're delivering business intelligence, you know what happens? You can charge more is what it comes down to. You can deliver greater KPIs, greater depth of business analysis, and the clients want that, and they're willing to pay for that, because you're helping them, you're giving them the business drivers, as opposed to just saying, well, here's your P&L, for the year to date by month, and this is the data. Well, I mean, that's good data, but that's secondary data. That's not the data that helps them change something in their business or identify something in their business. So QVinci does the P&L balance sheet and all the standard, budget versus actual and complex reports like that. But it's really what's happening in the accounting industry is the accountants are saying, look, I can deliver greater depth and breadth of reporting to you. Now, what you don't want to do, and this is really important, when you start adding depth and breadth of reporting business intelligence, it takes time to do that manually. You're going to have to dump something out of systems into Excel and do a lot of gyrations. It's better to build it one time in QVinci using an Excel-like tool and just have it, as we say, automatically hydrate for you on demand.
So one of the things I hear you saying, Charles, is that you spend more time in the beginning setting it up, and then after that, it's automated. After that, your preferences are.
In a very short sentence, that's pretty good. Yeah, and so you want these templates. And so the other thing is, so let me give you a little dent on this thing. We run into this all the time. I'm an accountant. There's 5 of us in my office, and we have 16 doctors, and we have 12 dentists, and we have some HVAC and some construction. It's got a plurality of types. QVinci is industry agnostic. So what you can do is you can build templates that'll be reusable across multiple industries. But what we find a lot of accountants doing is they're saying, I want to build this business, and we'll help you with this, by the way. I want to build a business intelligence tool for all my dentists, and the same template that works for dentist A will work for B, C, D, E, F, and G. So you build a template that will work across all these dentists. Well, what happens is that when you're an accountant, go out and talk to that next dentist that you want to get as a customer, and you show him your BI tool solution that you deliver to those guys, the dentist goes, well, when you come to me, I'm going to be your accountant. I'm going to do your bookkeeping. I'll do your accounting, that sort of thing. And oh, by the way, I'm going to deliver this reporting solution to you, and I'm going to charge you $450 a month for that report. It happens all the time. Mm-hmm. And so you can use this to service industry sectors and help you get more customers of that in that industry, because you're providing value.
So let me back up and let me ask this question, because you may have said it, but I want to make sure I understand. So you create your own templates, or QVinci has templates and you can use those for each industries, or is there both? We
do have, so we have 47 gap compliant reports sitting in what we call the QVinci gallery, ready for you to drag, drop, and use right out of the chute. A lot of reports, you have the ability to author your own reports, or you can contact us and say, listen, and this happens all the time. Accounting companies will come to us and say, listen, this is what I've been doing for my dentist, but it's arduous and it's difficult. I just got a request today from a firm that has 300 dentists, and they're doing all of them in Excel every month. Now we can automate that and make that 300 clicks of a mouse, as opposed to doing that monthly, right?
So you're like, wait, let me help you.
Yeah, you know, and so what will happen is they'll come to us and they'll say, this is kind of what I'm doing. Can you make it bigger, badder, better? And the answer to that's yes. And so we'll help them author that template, put it in their library, and then they just run it kind of thing.
I love it. Bigger, better, better.
Right. I love it. I also see, so I see it says API integration with QBOA, but you guys integrate with desktop too, right? QuickBooks Desktop, or are you not doing that anymore?
We do have a solution that does desktop as well, and it's, you know, directly with QVinci, and you can actually blend QBOA data and QuickBooks data together, like consolidations and that kind of thing. One of the things I should mention before I lose this thought, one of the things that we do when we start talking about business intelligence, you know, we allow you to blend P&L, balance sheet, and Excel data together on the same page. So imagine that you could, you know, a lot of times a client, we all have clients like this. They'll go, well, I got this summary page. It's got the P&L and balance sheet and a couple other KPIs on it. It's my summary page. Well, eventually, instead of doing like normal, in most situations, you'll have to dump something out of P&L or balance sheet, and there's separate pages in a reporting package. We'll let you bring that together and do the analysis and analytics and reporting on that blended. We call it data blending, if you will, blended data. So, and that will work with QBOA as well as the desktop solution as well.
Okay, I can see that being very beneficial.
Oh, everybody who uses it is in love.
Yep. I can understand that. And I was going to say, what do people like? Really? No, I was going to say, what is it that sets you apart from other reporting tools that are out there? Because there's lots of reporting tools. And so why QVinci? And I think that you addressed it in some of your automation and your dashboarding, and then that last piece with the profit and loss and balance sheet blending. But is there something else that you would add to that?
Well, we take our reporting solution is different than anything else that's out there. In other words, we can do more complex reporting. So let's say it this way: if you are historically comfortable building reports in Excel, you're going to be at home in our solution, because our authoring the solution looks and plays just like Excel. So in the same way, you might go in and say, listen, I just want these accounts. I'm going to put a custom row in here, and I'm going to put a formula in here, and a column on the right-hand side. You do the same thing in QVinci. You can do things with our reporting tool you can't do with anything else. We're not a generic reporting tool. We're one that can almost handle about anything you can throw at it. And if you're, like I said, if you're familiar with Excel, you're going to be right at home with QVinci.
So do you want to show some of these screenshots that we have of the portal and kind of talk to those?
Yeah, we just have a couple of screenshots. You know, QVinci is a fairly vast program, so we don't have time to go through a formal demo, but this is after you take an account, like you did earlier with the QBOA, when you log in, these would be all your files. And so you can manage the plurality of your client files in the QVinci portal. And so all these cells that you see on the right here are hot. You want the balance sheet, you'll click the cash column for Coffee Shop for You. And the other thing you can do is we have a number of status fields and note fields, such that the accountants that are all in your office, and by the way, your clients do not see this. You see this. This is a firm page, not a client page. So when you and your accountants log in, you guys can actually run reports and build reports inside QVinci across all your clients without ever logging into a QuickBooks file or exporting anything from a QuickBooks file, including custom styling, notations, business intelligence. And the one thing you can do here is we have a plurality of note fields and status fields where you can collaborate on your clients, leaving notes for each other, leaving indicators for each other, maybe some light workflow kind of things. And so it's just a landscape view of your customers and the status of where they are, when they close, are they synced, got some hot cells here. It's a navigational tool on this particular page. If we take a look at the next slide as an example, so this is a very rudimentary example of what our authoring tool looks like when it's hydrated. And this is an example of one of the reports that we have in the system. So show me last month, show me the vertical analysis, and then show me the year-to-date last month in vertical analysis. This is a predefined report which you can cut, copy, paste. Now, the nice thing about QVinci is this: the chart of accounts will automatically on the left-hand side hydrate by whatever is in the QuickBooks client, the client's file, QuickBooks file for the chart of accounts. And you can see that if you look down at the very, very bottom, it's kind of cut off there. You see there's a gross margin line on line 23. There's no, as an example, there's no gross margin line in a P&L coming out of QuickBooks. I threw in a row, I made it blue, and I threw that formula in there to do those calculations. And every month, if I were to run this report as a standalone report or as part of a package, I'm always going to get last month. I'm always going to get June vertical analysis. I'm always going to get the gross profit. Now, the thing that we take a little further is, this is a really good report. But the one thing that you can do is you can take the most important elements of this report, build a business intelligence KPI, make that a prior page in the package, let them look at the KPI, the drivers, and then this is the supporting evidence behind that KPI page. So you can imagine we do like trailing 12 months, or we'll do multiple period over period analysis reports. Well, those reports can be, 16, 17, 18 columns wide. And that's great supporting evidence. And there's a lot of detail and a lot of intelligence there. Sometimes you want to deliver a synopsis report in the page in front, and we allow you to build a synopsis page off this page here. So this report can be built one time, and it'll work for everybody, every last client that you've got. So that's templating and automation. If we go to the next page, let's see what we have on the next page. So this, briefly, is what we call the package editor. And what you're looking at here on the left-hand side is those are all the reports in your library. And documents are nothing more than cover pages, table of contents, and those kinds of things. You know what really works for accountants? You can use that document page, and so you have a KPI, or you have a report on the next page. What really works for accountants, we're finding, is they'll write a letter, and they'll say, dear customer, on the next page, you're going to find this report, and here's how I think you should digest that report. And calling out particular attention to this, 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 and this, right? So you're giving the client guidance. Now you're the trusted advisor, you're the consultant, right? And so what you'll do, and you got headers and footers and disclaimers, that kind of thing, and all you'll do is you drag the reports, documents, and headers, and you stack them in that center section. And so those are all the reports that are going to run. At the end of the day, the QVinci experience is this. I select the customer I want, and I click that download button. QVinci will automatically go take every report that I've put in that package, including custom KPIs and everything else, and it'll say, hydrate that report with this client's data and give me an output package in PDF and or Excel. And so what we try to do is help accountants standardize and say, you know what, I want to deliver advanced reports, but I don't want to do all that lifting every month. What I want to do is select the client and download. Select the client and download. And oh, by the way, I don't mind billing my client $250 or $350 or $450 a month for that intelligence. And then I'll go play golf or maybe go find some more customers. So let's take a look.
I think you did a really nice job of showing us how QVinci works and all of the benefits to being able to create these packages. We've had a couple of different questions with people who have asked additional information. So I almost feel like, Heather, do you want to send out a
poll? Yeah, we have a poll.
Let's do that poll because there's people who want more.
Okay. Yeah, so let's go ahead. So there's a question here is if you would like to learn more about QVinci and have someone reach out to you, just go ahead and vote. Can you guys see the poll?
Yes, absolutely.
Like, okay, just go ahead and answer the poll, and then we can have Brad and Charles reach out to you with more information. So we'll just leave that up for a minute.
Because I've been busy answering some questions, and I almost feel like some of these questions are going to be answered better by Charles and Brad.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. So, do you have any questions, Liz, that you want to share? Or
Most of them have been questions on a level that I think that they're going to need some detail. So
okay.
I almost
Perfect.
like that number one question. If they want more information, let's get their contacts and send them over to Charles and Brad if they want to have more information.
So that sounds great. So I'll leave that poll up for just a minute.
And I think that what that means is that there's lots of people interested in these levels of reports.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right. So do we want to move on to?
Yes. So let's move on to, I'm going to go ahead and close out the poll. If you weren't able to vote in the poll, just reach out to us. We'll connect you with Charles and Brad, and they'll reach out to you to answer any additional questions you may have. So I'm going to go ahead and end that. And then, Liz, I'm going to hand over the sharing to you. Liz is going to show you the coolest thing that we've done with an app this month. I think I have one couple of slides that you're going to talk about, and then you're going to jump into demo, right?
Absolutely. So go ahead and leave the slides up for just a second, and then I'm going to, whenever you pass it to me, I'm going to say, just go ahead and send me live. And then Deborah had just answered a question in Zoom asking about more reporting details, and I accidentally closed the question. So I'm sorry, Deborah. I didn't, Heather, if you want to look at that question, the last one that was sent.
Okay. Let's see.
Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and talk to the slides while you're looking at that last question. So quickly being able to write off tons of invoices the right way. Okay, I absolutely love Z-Access, and I hadn't used it quite in this way. And so I'm really excited to show you some cool little quick tricks to being able to take invoices and either write them off by creating a credit memo, or you could do this same steps if you had payments and you needed to create invoices. There's lots of different ways to use these same processes. So Heather, you want to advance my slide to the next one? So here's the steps on how to do it. And I put the link to the bit.ly inside of Facebook and inside of Zoom. And so you can get these slides to see these processes. And then you want to go ahead and advance to the next one. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how. So if you want to pass me the ball, I'm going to take us live.
Awesome. And I love this because, as Liz said, you can use different importer apps to complete these workflows, but it's based on, if any of you are QuickBooks Advanced certified, it's based on the method you use in Module 3 of the Advanced Certification that teaches you to write off old invoices using a credit memo with a product or service item mapped to bad debt. So this automates that for you. So if you have a lot of them to do, it actually allows you to import them all in bulk, which is pretty amazing. So super excited.
One of the things that whenever I get a client file is I have old invoices that I need to write off. And so going in and pulling a accounts receivable aging summary will give you all of the old invoices. And so I took this, or you can do an open invoices, but this report actually exports really nice. And so you can take this report from QuickBooks.
I'm not seeing, have you shared your screen yet? Because I'm not seeing your screen yet.
I thought I had, but am I missing something? I don't have anything.
At the very bottom, it says share screen.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I was just showing, let me go back to my dashboard. So I was just showing inside of QuickBooks over here. Do you see me?
I'm still not seeing your screen. Hold on. Oh, wait. It was my fault. I'm sorry.
You see me?
Yeah, now you have to do it again. It was a setting that wasn't selected, so I think you're good.
Okay, so you're seeing my desktop.
Yeah, you have to do it again. Stop sharing and then try it again.
Okay. And
There you go.
cool. Okay, great. So inside of my QuickBooks file, I'm just coming over to reports and pulling the accounts receivable. And really the thing that I would want would be the detail. So being able to pull that AR by customer detail and then being able to say, I want to export it into Excel. So that's exactly what I did is I took that report, exported into Excel, and then once I had it in Excel, then I could come over here to my Z-Access that I had already installed. And in the slides, there's some steps in there, and then I'm also going to post an article on how to. And Z-Access, you can see this is a free trial, and I've got all of the abilities of the full Z-Access inside of my trial. So I'm able to come over here to my Z-Access and say, run my trial. I've connected it to my QuickBooks Online, and I want to import. So I'm going to look at my import settings. And I'm going to say browse, and I'm going to pick that Excel file. And then it's going to say what kind of Excel file it is, what kind of report. And then I've got my mapping already set up here, but if I wanted to go and edit mapping, I could go over here and I could say add new mapping. And then you would just say the doc number would be exactly what your new number is for your Excel file. And then you can see right here what I did with that Excel file is I created the line item. So you want to make sure that you have a new item for writing off all of those old invoices, and then being able to have the new doc number. So CU stands for cleanup. And then I can just pick my credit memo mapping that's already set up. And then I can come over into my import and say I could import them all. And of course, you know, I would test one at a time.
I always test one before I bring them all in. But what I love about this, so what she did is, and the instructions are in the PowerPoint deck, is you export it to Excel, you add a line for the bad debt or cleanup item that's in QuickBooks. So just use the name for that. And then you can use a concatenate function in Excel to use the original invoice number and then add characters to it, like bad debt. She used CU for cleanup. For my bad debts, I use BD. And then what you can do is you change the date. So if I was writing off debt, if I was writing off bad debts in 2018, I would change the date in the spreadsheet to 12/31/2018, and then it will import all of those credit memos into QuickBooks in bulk. Then all I have to do is go in and apply the credit memos to the invoice, and I'm done.
Right. And I'm just, trying to maybe be respectful of time and walking through it
Sure,
quick.
absolutely.
But I wanted to show, this is that report that exported out of Excel, and over here is where we would add that QuickBooks write-off or cleanup, however you want to name that item. But then, of course, you would create that item inside of QuickBooks. And then also, like Heather was talking about, that concatenate, you would insert it right here. So you could say your equals C, and then choose your concatenate.
Concatenate, right? Say that 10 times fast, Liz.
Right.
Yeah. No, I love this workflow. It's a huge time saver. Yeah.
It is. It is. And then I can see over here that they've all imported. And this is really cool too. If I didn't like the way that it looks, I can undo it, which I tested that. And I was like, man, that worked beautifully. Okay, so inside of QuickBooks, if I refresh, run my report, I've got every single one of my credit memos tied to my invoices by number. And then I can come over here. And this is the one piece that's manual, is you do have to receive the payment. So you come over here, and I would make sure to make the payment date the same, or at least the same year. So you might even just say 2010. And then close, and that's it.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
It
pretty
is.
Awesome.
And I really have. I've, just in, that was Heather's trick. And so I took it and I've used it on 2 different clients now. and I'm getting ready to use it on a third. It's just a great little.
It's really handy. Yeah. I mean, it's just using the existing data to create new data, right? That's all.
Right.
We're just taking it out and transforming it.
And
so I'm going to cancel you. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, only thing I was going to add is that one of the things with Z-Axis, because I use TPI as well, but the thing about Z-Axis that I like is that you buy it. So it's $2.99 one time, and you can connect it to desktop, online, and point of sale.
Right. It's pretty awesome. The only thing I would say about it, and when you're looking at different apps, the desktop apps tend to run a little bit slower than the online. Like TPI is all online, and so your transactions will process a little bit faster. Whenever you're running a desktop-based app, the data has to kind of come down and get processed on your desktop and go back up to the cloud. So that can take a little bit longer. But there's lots of tools out there that can do the same thing. You can do that with Excel Transactions Importer. You could do it with TPI. You could do it with Z-Axis. You could do it with CData. Lots of options there. So everybody, I know we went a little over. We're sorry, but we're having so much fun that we just had to show you everything that was in our brains for the day. But please do visit our website. Thank you so much for taking an hour and 5 minutes out of your day. We really do appreciate it. I hope you guys learned a lot. Huge thank you to our sponsor, QVinci, for spending time with us. A huge thank you to Kevin and Intuit for coming and talking to us about the apps tab and the new account and discount program. We hope you guys had a lot of fun, and we hope to see you again next month. Don't forget to visit our sponsor website. I will get everybody's email addresses over to Brad and to Charles so they can reach out to you with more information. And then we'll see you next month. Next month, we're going to be talking all about e-commerce. So we're going to be talking about e-commerce. There's some big changes to sales tax that affects our e-commerce clients. We're going to be talking a little bit about that. We're really excited to see you guys next month. So again, thank you. It's on August 14th at 4:00 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll be talking all about e-commerce, which I know is near and dear to your heart, Liz.
I do. I love it. It's fun. I'm excited. It's my favorite topic.
Absolutely. So we'll see you guys next month. Thank you so much. And you guys have a lovely day. Go out and make yourself a Mona Lisa. They are delicious. I'm going to finish mine now, and we'll see you guys a little bit later. So thank you very much.
Bye, everyone.
And thanks to Brad and Charles as well. Bye, everyone.